On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Chase.
To pursue something or someone, to catch or capture them. To go after something vigorously or with determination. Noun, a pursuit or a hunt, a narrow groove or channel cut into a surface, often used for decorative purposes.
Examples:
chase a dream, wild goose chase. The police officer chased the suspect through the crowded streets until they finally caught him.
Virus.
A tiny infectious organic material that causes disease in people, animals, and plants.
Examples:
spread of the virus, a strain of virus. An infected person in the hospital will likely pass the virus to others.
Isolate.
To physically or socially separate someone or something from other people or things.
Examples:
isolate a compound, isolate a patient. You should not isolate them from the community.
Cavern.
A large, natural underground space.
Examples:
a yawning cavern, cavern tour. The explorer discovered a large cavern deep underground.
Bat.
A nocturnal animal with wings that flies and feeds at night, similar to a mouse, a piece of wood with a handle used for hitting the ball in sports including baseball, cricket, and table tennis.
Examples:
bat cave, bat an eye. The cave was a habitat for bats.
Cave.
A large hole in the side of a hill, cliff, mountain, or under the ground.
Examples:
domiciliary caves, the mouth of the cave. Bats reside in sheltered caves.
Coronavirus.
A large family of viruses that can cause illness in humans and animals, which name comes from the crown-like spikes on the surface of the virus, which can be seen under a microscope, and COVID-19 is caused by a specific type of coronavirus known as SARS-CoV-2.
Examples:
coronavirus antibody test kit, coronavirus bankruptcy. Considering the situation of coronavirus, organized stopped this year's beer festival.
Epidemic.
The widespread outbreak of a particular disease in a large number of people at the same time.
Examples:
a worldwide epidemic, health epidemic. The disease is now reaching epidemic proportions in our country.
Severe.
Extremely serious or bad in feeling, manner, or strict and harsh, extremely strong or vigorous.
Examples:
severe heat, a severe case of pneumonia. The senator received severe criticism from his opponent.
Acute.
Extremely sharp or severe.
Examples:
Acute pain. Acute triangle. The patient died from acute alcohol intoxication.
Respiratory.
Relating to the organs and processes involved in breathing, such as the lungs and the act of inhaling and exhaling air.
Examples:
Respiratory failure. Alleviate respiratory ailments. Chronic respiratory disorders, such as asthma, can significantly impact a person's quality of life.
Syndrome.
A group of signs and symptoms that occur together and are characteristic of a particular condition or disorder.
Examples:
Syndrome of dementia. Acute syndrome. The patient was diagnosed with a rare genetic syndrome.
Protein.
A molecule made up of a long chain of amino acids, which is essential for the structure and function of the body's tissues.
Examples:
Stress protein. Protein synthesis. The body needs a certain amount of protein to build and repair tissues.
Spike.
A narrow, thin, pointed piece of metal, wood, etc., a sudden large increase in the magnitude or concentration of something.
Examples:
To spike. To prevent blood sugar spikes. The recent spike in grain prices is partly due to the war in the producing countries.
Crown.
A circular ornamental headdress, worn as a symbol of authority by a king, usually made of gold and precious stones.
Examples:
The imperial crown. The crown and throne. The bishop bestowed the golden crown on the king.
Corona.
A crown-shaped structure, often referring to the outermost layer of the sun's atmosphere. A family of viruses known as coronaviruses. A halo or aura around a celestial body, a circular pattern or shape.
Examples:
Corona layer. Corona outbreak. The coronavirus has caused a global pandemic.
Infect.
To affect a person, an animal, or a plant with a disease-causing organism.
Examples:
Infect other animal species. Infect a computer with a virus. Children often infect parents with this head cold.
Disease.
A disorder or illness that affects the body or mind, often characterized by specific symptoms or abnormal functioning of organs or systems.
Examples:
Disease prevention. Disease control. The doctor diagnosed him with a rare disease that had no known cure.
Contagious.
Able to be passed on to others through contact or proximity, especially by infection or disease.
Examples:
Contagious enthusiasm. Contagious virus. The disease is highly contagious and spreads quickly.
Infection.
A condition in which pathogenic microorganisms or viruses have entered the body.
Examples:
A bacterial infection. Treat the infection with antibiotics. Hospitals must meet various standards to prevent nosocomial infections.
Lung.
Either of the two organs in the chest that people and some animals use for breathing.
Examples:
Lung capacity. Do lung transplantation. He has terminal lung cancer.
Feat.
A notable or impressive achievement, especially one that requires great skill or bravery.
Examples:
Intellectual feat. Feat accomplishment. It is an incredible feat to climb Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world.
Severely.
Very badly or seriously.
Examples:
Severely burned arm. Criticize him severely. Her company was severely affected by the bank's failure.
Cough.
To expel air from the lungs suddenly and noisily, often as a reaction to irritation, illness, or some other physical condition. Noun, a sudden, forceful expulsion of air from the lungs, often accompanied by a distinctive sound.
Examples:
Cough several times. Persistent cough. I can't stop coughing and think I might have caught a cold.
Droplet.
A small drop of liquid.
Examples:
Droplet size. Droplet formation. A single droplet of water can reflect the entire world upside down.
Spray.
A fine mist of liquid that is dispersed into the air. Flower arrangement consisting of a single branch or shoot bearing flowers and foliage.
Examples:
A spray of mist. An insect spray. The artist used a spray paint can to create a graffiti mural on the wall.
Transmit.
To send or forward an electronic signal, to pass something from one person or thing to another.
Examples:
Transmit the disease. Transmit information. Parents often transmit their characteristics to their children.
Enclose.
To surround, as with a fence, wall, or barrier, to put within boundaries, to include.
Examples:
Enclose a check with a letter. Enclose area. The walls were enclosed to create a private outdoor space.
Survive.
To live or exist despite a dangerous event or period.
Examples:
Survive a blizzard. Survive a plane crash. These birds can only survive in temperate climates.
Exposure.
The state of being in a particular situation or place where there is no protection from or guarantee to something harmful, the disclosure of something secret.
Examples:
A southern exposure. The exposure of a fraud. The long exposure to the air tarnished the antique tableware.
Sunlight.
The light emitted by the sun, the rays of the sun.
Examples:
A glare of sunlight. Indirect sunlight. Radiation from sunlight has a different wavelength.
Damage.
To harm or cause injury to something or someone, often resulting in decreased value or functionality, to impair or negatively affect something, such as a reputation or relationship. Noun, harm or injury that is caused to a person, thing, or entity.
Examples:
Damage a relationship. Damage assessment. During the surgery, the doctor had to be extremely cautious not to damage a blood vessel.
Variation.
The act or state of changing, a difference or change in the way something is done, made, or said.
Examples:
Variation of temperature. Gene variation. There is a lot of variation in the colors of flowers in the garden.
Immune.
Protected against a particular disease or toxin due to the presence of specific antibodies or sensitized white blood cells.
Examples:
Immune from criminal prosecution. The cell of the immune system. The vaccination does not necessarily make you completely immune.
Embed.
To fix or set firmly in a surrounding mass.
Examples:
Embed scripts in the message. Embed a sensor. The company embedded a tracking code in the product's packaging to monitor its shipment.
Fuse.
A small part in an electrical device or machinery that can interrupt the flow of electrical current when it is overloaded. Verb, to become plastic or fluid or liquefied from heat.
Examples:
Fuse blows. Fuse with one another. He has a short fuse.
Hijack.
To seize control of an airplane or other vehicle during an operation, especially with violence.
Examples:
Hijack a helicopter. Hijack a phone number. He made a desperate effort to hijack an airliner.
Machinery.
A group of large machines or the components of a machine that make it work, social institution functions or structure for doing something.
Examples:
Heavy machinery. Inactive machinery. The machinery of audit formally issued a business improvement order.
Proofread.
To examine written material and mark any errors in spelling, grammar, punctuation, or formatting. To read carefully and correct errors.
Examples:
Proofread document. Proofread manuscript. The teacher asked the student to proofread the essay as part of the revision process.
Mechanism:
A part of a machine, or a set of parts that performs a task, a natural or established process that occurs during a specific situation or reaction.
Examples:
The mechanism for DNA replication. Defense mechanism. He discovered unique mechanisms for photochemical reactions.
Mutation:
The way in which genes of a person, plant, animal, or other organism change and produce permanent differences.
Examples:
Mutation of DNA. Hereditary mutation. Radiation often promotes genetic mutations in plants and animals.
Useless:
Not serving any useful purpose, having no practical result.
Examples:
Useless information. Useless in the kitchen. The old, rusty tools were now useless and had to be thrown away.
Suited:
Appropriate, fitting, or acceptable for a particular purpose or occasion, matched or corresponding to a specific person, dress, or circumstances.
Examples:
Suited for the job. Well-suited personality. The job offer was perfectly suited to her skills and experience.
Environment:
The natural world such as air, water, and land in which humans, animals, and plants live.
Examples:
Environment affairs. Chaotic environment. Every human is responsible for taking care of the Earth's environment.
Pandemic:
An outbreak of a disease that affects many people over a very wide area.
Examples:
Flu pandemic. Global pandemic. They fear a pandemic of a new type of virus.
Strain:
A force or pressure that stretches or pulls something, sometimes causing damage. Biology, a group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups.
Examples:
Strain our eyes. A strain of bacillus. Dictators of the past often had the erroneous idea of a pure racial strain.
Opportune:
Suitable or happening at a time that is suitable or convenient for a particular purpose.
Examples:
Opportune occasion. An opportune remark. The phone rang at the most opportune time.
Counteract:
To act against something to reduce its bad or harmful effects or neutralize it.
Examples:
Counteract the effect of poison. Counteract global warming. Our body's immune system produces antibodies to counteract disease.
Enzyme.
A substance produced by a living organism that acts as a catalyst to bring about a specific biochemical reaction.
Examples:
enzyme reaction, lack of digestive enzymes. A deficiency in the enzyme can lead to a medical condition.
Stable.
Firm and steady, not easily moved, disturbed, or changed.
Examples:
in stable condition. Have a stable job. Relations between the two countries have been relatively stable due to the summit meeting.
Formidable.
Causing fear, apprehension, or awe, difficult to deal with or overcome, capable of inspiring respect or admiration.
Examples:
formidable challenge. Formidable competitor. The mountain range was a formidable obstacle for the hikers.
Disarm.
To remove weapons or the means of attack from a person, group, or situation. To win over or reduce suspicion or hostility from an opponent or adversary.
Examples:
disarm opponents. Disarm a bomb. The police were able to disarm the suspect without any violence.
Recognize.
To acknowledge or realize something or someone, to identify, remember, or become aware of something that was previously known or encountered.
Examples:
recognize talent. Recognize achievement. It's important to recognize your strengths and weaknesses.
Germ.
A very tiny living that causes the disease, a piece of something such as an organism, concept, etc., capable of growing into a new one or part of one.
Examples:
antibiotic-resistant germ. A germ-free environment. The germ of his idea came from watching birds flying in flocks.
Destroy.
To ruin or damage severely or completely, to eradicate or eliminate completely.
Examples:
destroy the ecosystem. Destroyed evidence. The building was destroyed in the fire and had to be rebuilt.
Recognizable.
Easy to become aware of or identify.
Examples:
to a recognizable degree. Recognizable landmark. His car was easily recognizable in the parking lot.
Antiviral.
Inhibiting or stopping the growth and reproduction of viruses. Noun, any drug that destroys viruses.
Examples:
antiviral effect. An antiviral agent. The doctor immediately prescribed antiviral drugs.
Vaccine.
A substance that is put into the body and protects them from disease by causing them to produce antibodies equals proteins that attack harmful bacteria, viruses, etc.
Examples:
Development of vaccines. An oral vaccine. The mRNA vaccine was approved in less than a year because it did not contain the fragments of the target virus.
Specifically.
Only associated with or meant for one thing.
Examples:
Designed specifically for men. For specifically American customers. This ad campaign is aimed specifically at young women.
Influenza.
Formal for flu, a highly contagious viral disease that causes fever, severe aching, and catarrh and often occurs in epidemics.
Examples:
An epidemic outbreak of influenza. Influenza B strain. The research institute allocated a lot of money to study the cause and prevention of influenza.
Constantly.
All the time.
Examples:
A constantly innovative enterprise. A constantly varying mind. The mobile application industry is constantly changing.
Approve.
To think that someone or something is favorable, acceptable, or appropriate, to officially accept a plan, request, etc.
Examples:
Approve a measures. Unanimously approve a resolution. My boss wouldn't approve of the plan.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
Develop a strategy. Develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Clinical.
Of or relating to the examination and treatment of patients rather than theoretical or laboratory studies.
Examples:
Clinical surgery. Participate in clinical trials. She received special clinical training at the hospital.
Encroach.
To advance beyond the usual or acceptable limit gradually and often without being noticed, to infringe upon someone's territory, rights, privacy, etc.
Examples:
Encroach on the realm. Encroach on the habitat of the animal. You have no right to encroach on my leisure time.
Inevitable.
Certain to happen and unavoidable.
Examples:
Inevitable changes of the seasons. Inevitable result. In times of recession, an increase in unemployment is inevitable.
Investigate.
To conduct a systematic or formal inquiry to identify and evaluate the facts of a crime, problem, statement, etc., to establish the truth.
Examples:
investigate the matter. Investigate a data leak. The committee investigated several apparent inconsistencies.
Devastating.
Causing a great deal of destruction or damage.
Examples:
have devastating effects. Treat this devastating disease. This typhoon was the most devastating in years.